Hi everyone, it's Alan. We're going over three things today. We're going to go over the painting, what I'm working on texture-wise, my new book that I'm processing at this time, and an older book, and the poem I'm working on, which it'll all work out. You'll see. All right, so let's get this done, and I'll show you what I'm doing. I hope all is well with everybody. So here is the poem the book I'm working on. It's in three parts, but I didn't separate them. It has to do with the most recent. Well, actually, what has to do with the most revised. So this is the first parts are revised that I've already read to you. It's called Poem. The poem is, and it's a collection of poems, of course. And this is the first few, which I haven't put on the last one here yet. The last poem, which is defining the 16th Exodus, as I read to you before. I have to separate it into sections or stanzas. I'm thinking more of epic kind of stuff when we talk about Exodus and we talk about Greek mythology, Roman mythology, epic poems, journeys, and in the Bible, of course, which is Judean. Then we would also think about these. So, and I think what I'm trying to get at is that this isn't all, like poetry or art itself. It's a process. So, and this is the new cover. It's called Poem. It's a poem song collection for adult learners. That's my thought. I recently had that image made. So nickname algorithms first, the first three poems, which are about 10 pages, and then comes the transfiguration or transformational poems, which is in chapters all the way up to the transition of chapter 5 all the way up to Pong, which is a poem song and the journeys that relate to that. And as I look at this, it's called A Place I Can Return. And just like any conclusion in any song, essay, or poem collection, it may have some, in a sonnet, of course, it may have some refrain or turn back to the relativity of the mind, body, and spirit that we all are dealing with, and of course through different species. Speciation is what I was talking about last time. Okay, so I didn't want to go over that too much, but I did want to tell you that I'm going to finish up that poem within the next few days, and then I'll have that new collection out. I find it's easier for me to do it that way. Plus, look forward to, and of course, I'll try to include in my descriptions the Amazon connections, so if you're interested. Recently, I was also able to put on, I believe, on YouTube, donations. So I think in some respects it says thanks, and then you click on that and you can make donations. They're very minimal if you like to do that. I think I only get a percentage of that since PayPal gets a percentage. But I'm trying to monetize my work, since, everything costs, such as my education. If you don't know, I have a Master's of Art and a Bachelor's of Science, plus all the courses in between while trying to teach and work on CEUs, which is Continuing Educational Units or Credits, CECs, that's the other part. And of course, continued master courses and undergraduate courses. I think I took 36 major master credit courses for my Masters of Art. But prior to that, I think I took about 20. Okay, and a couple I was not very well at. I didn't verse. So I think there was 4 or 5, which is 3 courses, 3 credits each. So that's 15 and 20. So it's 20, 20, oh God, 20. So it's 35. So if you really want to think about it, like anything, you learn and you grow and you change. So that was my my rite of passage, I guess, to get my master's. And other people say, well, do you consider your master's to be like a master's of art or a master's in general? See, and that's the big debate. Masters of Fine Art and the doctorates are considered terminal degrees. But what if you get an honorary one? So, and who gives that to you? Do you give it to yourself or does your peers? And what if your peers don't like you because you're a minority? Well, there you are. So, onward and upward. I want to show you what else I did. So let me see if I can give you the quick tour. And I think I've sent these on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. So look for me there. There are links in my YouTube channel now. I just also included. So if you want to find me easier, you can go through my YouTube channel too. And here's my name, author name. Once I get it. And I'll go from there. Takes a minute. And I just want to show you the most recent work that has to do with the other poems that I revised. This is the book for children that I told you. I did share with you earlier when we made this new series of videos. Fun Family Fun Friendships, 14 travel children's stories, which taken over 30 years to do. I think 20 or 30 years. And help from family, of course, with their encouragements or lack thereof. So I'm hoping you might be interested in that. You can see that there. And again, you just have to type in my name, which is not hard to do, I think, if you are interested in my books. And let's see. And let me go back to what I really want you to focus in on. See if it'll allow me. Okay, let's see if our timer's still going here on this video. Yep. Okay, so we're 8 minutes in, so not bad. We're doing great on time. Okay, so it's The Expression from Individual Souls, a poetry collection. And this collection, and I'll see if I can open it. And of course, I put this on Facebook and stuff for people to view. It's only 37 pages, but of course, it's condensed poetry, and it has to do with individuals and minority groups that I've worked with, taught, and so forth and so on, and how we learn to unite our education, continual education. It's a poetry collection, expressions from I didn't say individuals, right? Okay. Expressions from indivisible souls. Indivisible comes from the Pledge of Allegiance, indivisible. So, and I think that's a nice play because sometimes people forget that our soul is our spirit, body, and mind. And so, let me see if I can show you what this all relates to. Okay. There's the cover. It's loading up, as you can see here. It took me about 2 days to make this cover, or get this cover made, to find the right way to make it. I think there's a front and a back, so if you want to read that, you can. I try to make it more justified, so people who have dyslexia or other sight issues, such as myself, may find it easier to read the fine print by doing that. Okay, so I can't show you the table of contents, but I can surely show you the table of contents here if I can do indivisible. Nope, spelled that wrong. There we go. Oops, right here. Let's see if it has the right information. Excuse me, I had to do some stretching these days because I'm having some nerve problems around my shoulder blades. Yeah, but it doesn't interfere with me trying to create something for you, so I still keep going. So let's see. The image takes longer because on every cover page of every book, I try to give you another image. And most of the time I'm trying to give you colored, but when it gets printed it becomes black and white or grayed out. So, and so this collection again is 37 pages, and a portion of them are, I think I did a 24-page, that was the goal, 24-page chapbook relating to indivisible souls that we are. And okay, so there's those chapters again, and I don't know if you are keen on on getting more information, or you're interested in in-depth or more detailed work. But that's what I'm about. I'm more of a revisionist. Revisionist, that's it. And what happens is, after I've written this work for you and revised the work, I also have reservations. And if you're a perfectionist like me, or a little obsessed, then you would do the same thing. So what I did is I started with these poems that had everything or nothing to do with the individual or indivisible individual, and creatures, of course, and don't get deterred by like using words like grazing and stuff like that, but because we all eat, and sometimes we eat obsessively, like such as myself, and we get satiated by what we eat. So that's why grazing came in for me. And then listening to people and their concerns, we definitely have to take into account that we are our own heroes in a sense. And the holiday season was here, so there, around December and January. And there's been this big push for Daedalus. I'm not sure if you're familiar with Icarus and Daedalus, but sometimes with this cancel generation, there seems to be a engineering of defeatist kind of viewpoints, and trying to get around things with condescension, and trying to hoodwink people. Recently I heard the word, what's that Irish word? Well, I'll think about it. Shenanigans. And of course we have Herman on the river, basically. And then we have a Chili Fest, North Pole stuff, what is because I was a child. And then, of course, what I think I rounded out to is when I saw and when I listened to The Seventh Disciple. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that, but I watched that movie. Martin Sheen was in it, and he was a doctor, but he was meant to see Jesus and he never did. So at the end it said he met Jesus, and Jesus said, for everyone you've helped, I'm kind of paraphrasing, for those, I'm sorry I could not see you, Lord. That's what Martin Sheen's character said. But he said, for the least of these, you have helped me, and you have brought my message to the people that we need to care for one another. And I thought that was great because I think in general, if we are all indivisible and we're here to unite with one another, then we're here to care for one another, if not directly, but indirectly. And so I think that was very powerful for me, and I hope it's powerful for you. So this book is on Amazon, and I will make a connection for you if you like. It's $9.99, $9.95. If you can't afford that, then I can give you an author price. If you want to buy in bulk also, that would help me. But let me know. You can make comments in the YouTube section, and I will try to be vigilant on that. But right now, let's see if we can get back to what I also want to do for you today. Is I want to get out another poem, and I want to read one for you from the Heartstone of I can't even speak today. The Heartstone of Oswald Worthy, Their Unsupported Lives. So this has to do with a long time of trying to please other people in relationships, and finding that the really person that we really need to take care of is myself. Unfortunately, not to say I didn't care for these people, it's just to say that some people don't know the support you need until it's too late. And of course, maybe I was in the same boat. All right, so this is a part so doing this, the Heartstone of Oswald Worthy has to do with Heartstone, and it has to do with Oswald Worthy. So these are fictional characters, but it chronicalizes the relationship of relationships in general with people. You know, if we look at our relationships with ourselves and we look at our relationships with each other, and we start journaling that, which I did in, I'm going to tell you, 2020, before March of, I would say, 2019. Just give it a year. This title for this one was called Where Hate No More. And of course, if you haven't recently seen the movie, which I seen last night, it's called The Hate You Give. And of course, at the end she says, it's the hate we give. So it really struck me, and I'm sure it's going to strike you, as it's an interpersonal thing. It's not only the communication that we have one way with another person, it's the communication we're having with everybody and they're having with us. And so we have to be more or less aware of that cognition. Of course, there's political correctness, and then there's, on the other spectrum, it is self-expression, right? So we always had to put things into perspective for some people who may not or may understand that. Am I speaking from my own personal experience, or am I speaking from society's standpoint, or am I speaking from somebody else's point of view that I've spoke with? And all this comes into play when we speak about their unsupported lives. So you have two men here in their relationship, and ironic, and then of course on this cake they're Asian Americans, which is another politically correct situation. Why couldn't we just call them Asian, or what they are, Korean, or Vietnamese, Korean, and Japanese, which is all in my community. And I'm sure if you've lived at least 20 to 25 years that you've had some interactions with people of Asian descent. But it doesn't mean that they're not no less human than you or I, unless they want to treat each other that way, I guess you would say. So, of course, I'm not going to republish this book unless I had help, but I am going to take poems from it, and I'm going to put in a future collection, which I'm not sure what that's going to be yet. Maybe it's along the same lines of supported lives or something, supporting life, because that's really what my thesis and my work is about. It's about supporting minorities, disabled, and individuals who feel like they're isolated in their world. So, okay, I want to get to this, and then it's a small poem, small section. This has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 stanzas, and I'm reading the 7th stanza because that's where most of the editing. And it seems like this mostly has universal appeal. So the conclusion, as opposed to the introduction, same difference. And then I want to talk to you about my painting, and hopefully that will interest you in acrylic painting, and maybe doing something different with your paintings instead of just doing what other people are doing online. So, which is great inspiration. So, all right. So this is from 3/28. I would say 2019. 2019. Where hate. I think it was before that, 2018, or yeah, it's way before that. These are from journals, actually, that I've collected over time. Anyway, it was 3/28 of some year, which is relative, I guess, as we develop. We're hate no more. You have some that is more than creativity. You have what we are all made of, Mother Nature's humanity, nurture, eternal, and infinitely given freely, kindly back, without vanity. Wow, that's deep. Let me see if I can pull up and give you something else that's not going to be so earth-shaking. Maybe I'll repeat it. How's that sound? That's good. I don't think I'll do that for you. You have some of that in more. Some of that is more than creativity. You have what we are all made of. Mother Nature's humanity, nurture, eternal, infinitely given freely, kindly back, without vanity. Yeah. And I might change it because I think the first line came out right when I read it. You have something that is in more. Like, you have some that is more. Okay, that sounds right. I was going to say you have some that in more, but that doesn't sound right. I think that stanza is going to stand, and I hope you like it. Okay, I'm going to try to bring you closer to what I'm doing, or I'll just bring the painting closer so you can see it better. Hold on. This I call the Poodle. And of course I was inspired by balloon paintings that a young woman was doing, and she was trying to, she was successful. She was making these wonderful textured flowers from it. But of course, I get in there and I'm trying to use this half blown up balloon and stuff like that, and rubbing around and stuff like that, getting all hands all painted up and stuff like that, which kind of bothers me. I don't know if it bothers you, but yeah, because I'm a nail biter, and so I have to make sure I clean my nails very well, so I'm not eating paint, which is part of one of my things. Anyway, I made this nice little impressionistic dog, which I thought, wow, it does give you that depth, and it gives you that white in the dark feeling. And I might put this on TeePublic, or what the other one is, Redbubble, or something like that. I think that's what it's called. And I may put it in as a poster or a picture for people. What I was inspired by was the balloon, the textured, and how it looks like it came to be a dog, basically. But as you know, when you're doing this kind of thing on a flat surface like that, other things happen, like the sun comes in, and the sun was coming in through my blinds, and then it was showing the shadow right on there, excuse me, and the shadow was giving me this nice, I would say, curtain effect. And so I wanted to capture that, so I just continued to use the white, because on top of the gesso, of course, I don't just leave gesso here. I kind of put white on there on the gesso. I try to make it more soft and a flatter surface. So, and I had some some silver medium, and I thought that with gold will give it some nice contrast and sheen to it. So I brought that in there. And recently, I said, I had it up on the wall, of course, for 2 months because of the holidays. I started in December of 2024. And then recently I said, I want to do something with it, but I'm not sure what I want to do. So I said, okay, I want to do these edges, the sides, because as you know, as an artist and you exhibit, most of the places you exhibit, they want a frame, whether it's contemporary or not. So I'm all about that, and I honor that. So I'm using taping the edges. But around here you can see there's a fine trim that I'm using for painting. And of course, I combined the silver glitter with the gold, and I got a nice effect. What I'm trying to pick up, and I think you feel the same way, is that you're finding a nice backlighting, not literally, but you have this like aura about it. You know, it's not just a square. And I have an issue about that. I'm not sure how to deal with that. Maybe you have some ideas and you can put in your comments. And I'm thinking I might want to start making these frames or this edging a little bit thicker, and just working with that for a while, just to really confront my resentment for places that exhibit art for contemporary artists, and they don't really understand what we're all about. So, but that's okay. Okay. So what I'm trying to say, what I'm doing, is I came up with, okay, well, I'm going to add something more to it. So I was inspired by this when I took a picture of it, because it looked like a dead man or dead person laying there. So I said, I can't just leave that there on top of a dog standing on top of a dead person or a figure. So I said, okay, I've got to do something else with it. So I took it down, put it up on the easel, and I said, okay, green is one of my favorite colors, because it's about nature and all that stuff. So I took some small paintbrush, because I'm trying to use detailed brush strokes and stuff like that now, because I find that's where I'm going with some detail. So, and of course the dog was talking to me, and all the images were talking to me, and the glitter was talking to me that I put on here, because you can see some glitter there. And I started doodling, I guess you would say. I was doodling with a halo for my dog. You've never seen that on another picture. I've never seen a halo with a green halo for or crown for a dog. If you did, let me know where the picture is. So that's inspirational, right? And then I said, well, I want to extend this and just to give some kind of brevity, maybe that's the best word I can use, or maybe just a pastoral feel to it. I'm finding that. Yeah, okay, so, okay, I got the wood braces on here, as you can see, and I kind of doubled up on those just to keep this thing straight because it was warping. I don't know if you know how to use those, but that's what I did. And it's, of course, it's probably half an inch or a 3/4 inch frame there. And if you're interested in this picture, that's great. This is how I charge people. I do the width times the length times the time it takes me to do this. So I work part-time basically on my paintings, but it's taken me 2 months. I then have to round out, okay, how long would it take me to do this? Should I say 20 hours? 20 hours, and of course, with my background and my education, I can't go less than $20 an hour. So, 20, because the concepts and stuff like that. So I said to myself, okay, so this comes up to about, I think it's a 24 by 36. Let's do the math. And here we go. See if I can find a calculator. Of course, when you're trying to find something, you can't. Come on. I'll just do a search. There it is. So I'll just put this here for a minute. Leroy will go out soon. That's my dog, as you know. 24 times 36 equals that. 864 times 20, 20 hours, 20 times 20 is 40, right? 20 hours times 20, let's see, 20 hours, all right, times 20 equals 400. So 864 plus, I think I said 864, let's see. Okay, that was 400, so it's 36 times 24 equals 864 plus 400 equals $1,264. Now, because it's taking time, some people may not want it because it's taking too much time, and if they were commissioning it, it would be more expensive. But for my time and what I contribute, my experience and my education into it, this is the least I'm asking, $1,264. But what I said to myself is that I don't want to just leave it at that. Okay, long story short, when I was doing this, I glazed this and I made sure that it was sealed. I don't know if you feel the same way, but I don't like canvas that's bare. And what I have to do probably is go over this again with some white or more gesso, because I can feel it's rough. And I don't like that. And I do like this, but it is sticking too. So I might take those sticks out, if you will. So, and but of course I had it on the easel, and I looked at it this way, I looked at it that way, and I said, I'm going to make sure the glitter's on there. So the glitter enamel paint, if you will, is on there, and you can probably see it under the light. I don't know if you can, but it has this nice sheen to it. I like that. I think that really gives it a professional feel. And of course with the mediums and stuff like that I used, has a texture. So me and texture got into a conversation, and I saw up in here that there was a swirling situation, And then it got me going into the Impressionistic Poodle, which is the topic of this whole painting. So I was really getting caught up into the curls of the poodle, or the impression of the curls of the poodle, and how do I make that come alive in the white space. So as you can see, oh wow, I also see that I left a bare spot to symbolize probably the theoretical eyes, or the absence of light there. And I added some more glitter here around the ball, because this has to do with not only sectioning off the scene, which is has to do with I don't know if you're familiar with diptychs, triptychs, and stuff like that. But when you cut off an image, there's a psychological effect, as the image is somewhere in space, in the absence of space. So I'm dealing with the positive space as opposed to the negative space, but then I'm also dealing with the gravity of things. And of course that circle itself inspired me to get out my oil paintbrush, which I should get the finer ones out maybe, and start working the glaze medium in here, because I can see some spots, and it's soaked right in, and go circular. So this is all circular. So, and you can see it, but I want to make it more pronounced. And I think one way of doing that is putting this back on here, putting it up here, make sure it holds down there, because I have nothing really to hold that, because this painting, this easel cannot hold a lot, a big piece like this. I don't have room, so you have to deal with what you got, right? So I have thick medium here. This is heavy medium. I don't know if you guys can see me. Heavy medium here. And I shake it up, and I take out, and I see what the heck, what the texture is. And so I'm graduating to these spatulas or plastic cake grooving, so they have grooves in them, and what you do is when you do the texture, you move the texture around that way, and then it leaves a groove. So, you move the medium around, and it gives that texture. Excuse me, it's getting late at night, so getting tired. So let me see if I can do that for you. See if I can pick up some medium for you. Nope. This medium is very wet, so I'm not going to do that for you tonight. I'm sorry. But I will show you in another picture what I mean. I have to get more medium. This is good for glazing, this medium here. It's good for just doing that, or stuff like that, which I saw a spot there, so that's fine. I have to get heavy medium for that. And I'll be right back. All right, so here's a small painting I did. It's 10 by 12, but it's taken, it's taken, I think, 10 years to really refine it to where I wanted it. It has a nice texture to it, you can see that, and that's kind of where I'm going with that. And it's called a drip painting, and of course I put my name there. I'm not sure if people are offended by that, but I think has to do something with the postmodern kind of stuff. Um, yeah, it's Madjies, acrylic drip surface paintings, gradient, has to do with, yeah, the whole. I think it had to do something with the whole gay flag thing, something or other. So, but I was also intrigued by the fine art of other artists and how they were working with their lines and the painting. These are all organic lines, so I don't think no the width of each line is different. Does that make sense? You have at least the blending of 5 to 10 different colors here, and they're all there in space. Basically, if we talked about the space with the ball, you can also see the gravity is space, and then we give it a texture. Well, that just gives it another layer, and if you really look at it from a different angle, say, how does that make you feel? What is the effect to your psyche, or the effect that it has on your sense of beauty? So this is, I believe this is, I don't even know what the size is. Adrian. Yep, it is 10. Oh, it says it says 11. I don't know if that's right. 11 by 12, 22. Yeah, these dimensions are wild, huh? Yeah. So, yeah, so it's 11 by 14. That's weird. 11 by 14. And we just do 11 clear. 11 by 14 equals 150. The painting itself took 24 hours. So, and then you put the texture on. That's another 24 hours. And then just naming it and stuff like that. So, say 48. 48 hours. So times. So just basically just give it 24 hours, I guess, times 24. 154, 24 times 20 equals, okay, and that's, I'll write it down, 480, and I said 11 times 14, 50. So ironically enough, I would just, if I wanted to cut my losses, then I would just say, I would just add another, say, $48 onto it. But being that it is very, I think it's timely, and I think it's classic, so I would have to go up a bit, 580 plus, because this is a timely piece, and you think it's in a gallery or people making copies, which I'll probably put it on Team Bubble, T Public or Redbubble, to sell, to get my money back, times, not times, 480 plus 158, 4 equals $634. Now, that can be all negotiated. You let me know if you like it. It's called, this is the 3 Gay Madjies. Madjies, yeah. And this one's called Poodle, Impressionistic Poodle. And that goes for, I forget what I told you. Yeah, we can talk about it another time. But yeah, I think I said, sheesh, let me just get that worked out for you so I don't leave you hanging. 24 by by 28. Roughly it's 24 by 28. Clear, 24 by 28 equals that. I think I'm going down, going, okay, so, and then go 20 times 20 equals 400, yeah, that's about right. So, the Impressionistic Poodle is going for 1,702. That's the least I would go. I'm always taking bids. That's where the bid starts. And of course, that's what I give you, the bid. So this is 480. Yeah, 480 for your bid, for the bid, and then 1,072. And of course, that's all negotiable. So let me know if you're interested. I'm sorry to keep you. I know it's an hour. So thank you for listening and keep on creating. Bye-bye.